All right. All right. Here we go. I'm late again. There we go. There we go. Let's get my chat out. Yo, what's up, Santiago? Man, you're in here quick. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab something. We are just getting started. We are just getting started. Let's see. What do we got? Our 18Z GFS. Fun stuff. That's always fun to look at. What is going on with this? Actually, let's go here. Down. 1. There we go. Why is this acting up like this? Let me get this working. I hate when it snaps onto the screen like that. That's so annoying. What's going on, guys? Just getting started. 1 second. Let me fix up. Am I zoomed in? No. Sometimes this just resets itself. 1 second, guys. Let's get it fixed over on. That's gonna have to do for now. Can this thing stop locking? Let's see. Scale filtering. Transform. Let's do. Yeah, just stop. Just stop. There we go. All right, whatever. What's going on, guys? Give me 2.5 seconds. Probably more like 15.5 seconds. Coming, chat. I'm here, chat. Woo, it's Friday. It's Friday. All right, let's get going. I'm going to give you a quick little update on all our models. Guys, I looked at our 12Zs, but I haven't looked at our 18Zs, so we're going to go over that together. We're going to take a look at what's going on, what we expect. I pretty much told you what I expect in my video that I posted earlier today, but let's see what's up with our 18Zs and where's the snow going? Where's winter going right now? I can't stand that this is clicking into this play. You know what? I need to do something here. I need to fix this real quick because this is annoying the heck out of me, guys. 1 second. This is my video got messed up somehow. My setup. You see how it's clicking around? What the heck, dude? That's so annoying. We're gonna have to just go like this and call it a day. All right, that's fine. All right, chat. Here's what's going on. Oh, shoot. Could you guys hear me? Or was I very quiet? Matt, what's going on? What's up? Mezzo Matt is in the chat. Illinois snow next week? Probably. Potential flooding in Atlanta, Georgia. You're really getting ahead of yourself, Santiago. Happy Friday. All right. Let's look at our latest 18Z GFS. What the heck is going on here? All right. What has the GFS done? All right. Look at that. Look at that. Remember, guys, we were looking at this yesterday? Remember, guys, we were looking at this yesterday? And I was calling this nonsense. The snow this far south and west, nonsense. I'm glad the GFS caught up to reality and is keeping that snow to the north and west. Look at that. Almost like it's agreeing with the Euro now, just like we said. Look at my shocked face. I'm not surprised at all. Okay, so the GFS is acting right now. Look at this snow that wants to come in behind here. Wow, here we go, PNW. Here we go, California, Southern California, the Rockies. Here we go, the Northern Plains. It's coming. This is exactly what we expected. This is more snow in the Northern Plains. Iowa, you're probably going to get in on some of this stuff. Look at this. I mean, look, this is exact. We did it again, chat. We called it correctly weeks ago. Okay, here we go. Now, that we don't know this is going to happen, but this, let's see where it wants to put all this snow. Hey, Mezzo Matt, are you in here? I told you. I told all you up in the Northern Plains. Oh, Connor, we've only gotten 2 inches of snow all winter, and Pensacola's gotten a foot. I've been telling you for weeks. We're going to kick off February, and you're going to get plowed with snow up in the Northern Plains. Let's hope this comes true so I don't look like an idiot. But most of this is in our forecast, or a lot of this is in our forecastable range. So I'll take this, at least up to here. So we'll take this. Okay. We'd love to see it, guys. We'd love to see it. I'm going to start taking questions in a second. This is what I expected to see. And why are we seeing this? As I explained in my video, our jet stream is going to be looking a lot more like this and a lot less like this. So a jet stream that wants to set up like this, this is your troughing. This is your cold air. This is your low pressure. This is your high pressure. Your winter storms are going to ride your jet stream here to start February, and you're going to be left high and dry down here. Well, you're not going to be left high and dry down here. You're going to be left stuck with a lot of severe weather on the south and eastern side of these winter storms. You're going to have a lot of Gulf moisture, instability being pulled up into these lows. They're going to be dropping a lot of snow on the north and west side, and we're going to be getting a lot of instability down here to the south and east. So, I'm super, yeah, this is good. This is good. Let's see what our Euro thinks. Look at that. You love to see it. A little less through this corridor. I'm okay with that, though. Not everyone's going to get snow. And let's see what our Canadian thinks. Our Canadian's not going far enough out, though, but I like this. This is expected. The CPC really likes our Great Lake region down through the Central Plains. I think that's to be expected. All right, cool. That's good. Really quickly before I get to chat, we are watching the Southeast very, very closely as we move into February for some significant instability and severe weather. You've got a chance here on the GFS into February 1st. You've got another chance here into February 6th, 7th. The Euro wants to give you 3 different shots of some very severe weather as we move into February out east, out into the southeast. It also likes that first time frame. It also likes the 3rd and 4th, and then it also likes pushing back out there into the 6th and 7th. I mean, we could see some significant severe weather back to back to back to back, like Drake said, down in the southeast, pushing into February, and some significant winter storms up through this corridor right here. I think that's what's going to happen. Pacific Northwest, don't worry, you're going to get some snow too. But when I say major winter storms, significant winter storms, I mean blizzard-like heavy snow. You're going to get a lot of moisture up here, a lot of rain, a lot of snow, a lot of cooler weather up there in the Pacific Northwest moving in February. So, okay, this is what we expected to see. All right, chat. Are you so concerned about severe weather? Yep. Seeing rounds of rain through the next few weeks in the south. Yep. Hi, Connor. My feelings are hurt. What did I do? Why? Because I'm throwing tornadoes over your house? Britt? I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger. All right, let me get back down to the bottom of chat and let me... Oh, did I see Mezzo? Hey, hey. Guys, go show Mezzo some love. MESO. M-A-T-T. That's my boy. And he's your guy for severe weather. I'm telling you. Get ready for a spring severe weather season. He's going to be doing more streaming than's healthy for any one person. Tornadoes in Tennessee. We'll see. You guys are going to be in a sketchy place in the beginning of February, but no one really needs to worry right now because there's no severe weather outbreak in forecasting range. There's an outlook that looks like we could see some significant severe weather pushing into February. So it's something to watch. It's nothing to worry about yet. Something to watch, nothing to worry about. We'll worry about it in a little bit. You know what I mean? We'll worry about it in 4 or 5 days once it gets closer. And see, we'll narrow in on where it's headed. You don't want tornadoes in Tennessee? Too bad. I don't think this pattern's gonna care. No, I'm just kidding. Too early for anyone. Like I said, too early for anyone to worry. Just something to be aware of. Sketchy little pattern here for the southeast as we move into February. IKEA and Julie, what's going on? Will Maryland get more snowstorms? Like you mean this year or just in general ever in the history of existence of Earth, Jen? Yeah, no, I think we're gonna have. I think we haven't had our most significant snowstorm through the Mid-Atlantic this year. I think we're gonna have a late February, early March one. It's a gut feeling. The gut's been doing okay this season. What are you trying to tell me? Stuff about the other. Appreciate the follows and subs, guys. Thank you. We're getting close. We're getting close to 100K. I think about 98K. We need about 2,000 more followers, and then I can finally celebrate 100K. I swear, this last 5K has been really dragging. It's tough. Meteorologist Mark Mayer. What's going on? How's Cleveland, Ohio looking? Listen, let's do a little model comparison here. This is what I like to look at moving forward. Let's do a little model comparison. Let's just look at where our different models want snow to fall. Let's just go out, let's say 222 hours. Okay, here is the GFS. Okay, your oranges, guys, just pretend your oranges are 2 feet of snow. Your pinks, your light pinks to dark pinks are 6 inches to 1.5 feet. And your blues down to light blues are, 6 inches and below. Here we go. Here's your different models here. Now you can see your Euro and your, we'll stick with our Euro and our GFS. Well, we do have some agreement here, actually. I like the one thing that's very consistent amongst these models is this right here, and because this is coming up. So people in Iowa, Nebraska, especially Omaha, I think is in a really good position. Nebraska here for some good snow. There's a lot of agreement on some good snow in Nebraska. There really is. A lot of snow returning to the west. Some good snow still up in inner New England. If we pushed out a little further, and we just looked at our Euro and GFS, you can see where all the snow wants to fall out west. We can get into weather bell. We can look at our ensembles real quick, just so you guys can see moving forward. Everyone's gonna be, I know a lot of people are wondering about snow, where it's gonna go. We'll just look at our 10-day. You know what? Screw it. We'll look at our 15-day on the Euro ensemble. This is a definitely major shift in our jet stream here, seeing this snow compile back up in the west and especially up here in the north. We had a big hole in these regions on these ensembles for a while, but they're filling in now. There's your Euro moving forward about 2 weeks. There's your GFS. Let's put this forward, moving forward about 2 weeks. Here's your Canadian moving forward about 2 weeks. So, obviously, especially here, and I do think the Northern Plains, I think you all get involved. You see a lot of snow right here through inland New England. This is because we have like 50 million clipper systems moving through in the next 5 days with very cold air that's going to pile up some quick snow. Upstate New York, northern Vermont, New Hampshire, north and western Maine, north and western, obviously up towards Erie. Erie's always buried, so is Buffalo. All the snow is in Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo, yeah, I know. And really quickly, guys, I do want to talk about this. And then I'll just do a speed round, answer as many questions as I can. Forecast. Here's our CPC outlook from January 30th to February 3rd. Obviously, this isn't a hard map to read here. Red hot, blue cold. So, this is pushing in February. This is what we expected to see. Some cool and normal air moving back out west. Big warm up out here. As we push forward into kind of the second week, moving into the second week of February, look at this. Lots of troughing out here. Lots of ridging out here. We're not really gonna be dry down here. We may be dry up here in the second week of February. Dry, and then here here's how our February is really gonna look as we start getting into it. Severe, dry, snow, cold, and then Wisconsin, whatever that is, you know, and then wet. That's how it's gonna look, guys. That's how it's gonna look. I hope that helped you. That's how it's gonna look. I'll take dry. Yeah, not me in Wisconsin right now. You guys get your own weather. That doesn't make sense. Sorry, Logan. Yeah, we're worried about severe weather. Why are we worried about severe weather down in the southeast? Let's get into it. Let's zoom out on a macro level and talk about why we're worried about severe weather as we move into February down in the southeast. Some significant weather, some windstorms, some possible tornadoes, some heavy rainfall. We've had this kind of troughing recently where we've had this kind of jet stream look where we've had some some warmer air out here, some colder air out here. We've had storms riding south and up the coast for a little bit here. Our jet stream is going to want to go into more of a negative PNA type of look, meaning we're going to want some troughing, some cold air, some kind of a low pressure to sink in here into our west, and kind of a high pressure to build out here, and some drier conditions. Well, it's not going to be drier conditions because we're going to be having the tail of some of these winter systems that are going to be moving through the central plains. With the jet stream like this, and basically a subtropical jet that's going to help pull some moisture across the U.S., we're going to be seeing some big storms through this region. And to the south and east of these storms, we're going to be seeing a lot of instability here. A lot of Gulf moisture being pulled up, some warmer air clashing with some colder air. A lot of instability down there in the southeast. You can see this if we just go and we take a look at our future radar down here in the States. This is the easiest way to look at it. And you can see here's our right here, you can see our isobar lines that are red and blue. This is colder air. This is warmer air. And our wind is following these isobar lines here. So you're getting warm air and moisture being pulled off the Gulf, and you're having a lot of cold air being pulled in behind here. This creates a lot of instability. Typically what's going to happen here is you're going to have a lot of warm air at the surface being pulled in, and this is going to be pushing a lot of cold air aloft. When you have cold air aloft, warm air at the surface, you can get a lot of instability. This is when you get some severe weather outbreaks. Our pattern pushing into February, and that's why you can see some severe weather potential here, some severe weather potential here, some severe weather potential here. Just a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of thunderstorm activity happening down there in the southeast. And I think it's going to be an aggressive couple weeks. Our Euro agrees. We can just go to our 18Z Euro and we can watch the southeast. Now, what I'm more concerned with, guys, isn't our major squall lines that we have setting up. So when you get these squall lines like this, you can have what's called QLCS tornadoes. Tornadoes that set up quasi-linear. So it's tornadoes that set up right here in your squall line. And you can get a lot of different, tornadoes and severe weather and some pretty strong windstorms through this squall line. But typically, to get your very, very severe, to get some, your severe supercells, your very, very strong mesocyclones, you're going to see more of a popcorn type look on the radar. So what concerns me is when you start to see looks like this right here as we move into, this would be on the Euro as we move into the 2nd and 3rd of February, where, this type of look down there in the southeast where you get this kind of, like I said, this kind of more popcorn-like look, this can be some high instability. You can get some isolated supercells that have a very good inflow that can really, really, really get that vorticity kicking, get a strong mesocyclone over it, and you can get some very, very, very strong spin in the atmosphere with this type of look here. So, again, this is going to be a period we're going to have to keep our eyes on, and we're going to have to watch closely because it's not one event we're watching. It's the potential of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Okay, maybe only 2 of these things happen here because we're going a little bit farther out. But again, we're confident in where the jet stream is going to be setting up. We can see troughing and ridging patterns much farther out than we can see, future radar, future precipitation, and it's going to be active here. It's going to be active here with severe weather. It's going to be active up here with winter storms. I'm telling you. QLCS, quasi-linear convective system. There we go. Those are tornadoes that typically set up along a squall line. Did the wedge of cold air disappear in northern Georgia February 1st? We're going to be having a lot of that cold air kind of moving out. We have it sticking around for a little bit longer. Here we go. We have it sticking around for a little bit longer. You can see this cold air here, and then you'll see temperatures want to move back to average, and then here we go. Here's that warm air sinking in, and we're going to add the deeper we get into February, I think as we get into the 2nd week, this is around the 3rd to 4th time frame, we're going to start to see again, I think a jet stream that's going to want to set up like this. You're typically going to have warmer conditions on the south and east side. You're typically going to have colder conditions up here. This is your troughing. This is your ridging. This is not what we had. This is not what we've had all of January. All of January, we've had more of a, oh my gosh. One second. Is he streaming? Matt, are you in here? This is funny, guys. Did you see the end of the 18Z GFS?
I did. It's wild. I'm about to get on too here in a few minutes, dude. I can't get off the damn toilet for the sake of
Oh, okay, nice. My whole chat just heard you.
Oh shit. Yeah, I saw it. It's wild.
Oh my god. All right, see you on soon. Bye.
Alright, goodbye.
That's funny. Classic Matt. Not submat, mesomat. I warned him last time he got on stream. I called him. I didn't warn him this time, but hey. He was just, guys, he was just in the stream. How did he not know I was streaming? He was just in the stream. Yeah, guys, what we were just looking at is now, I talked about this in my video today. There's a look for a major Arctic plunge at pushing into the second week here of March. This right here would be absolutely historic. This right here, widespread temperatures 40 to 50 degrees below average, would be absolutely historic. I don't even want to. Do you guys want to see what this would look like on a wind from a wind chill standpoint? This would look absolutely hilarious for you guys. Sorry, y'all. Matt, I said that you said thanks for warning me. I'm like, I didn't think I had to warn you because you were literally just in my stream. Okay, here we go. This is what the latest 18 ZGFS wants to do here. Almost pushing into the negative 70s up here. 70 degrees, this isn't below average. This is minus 65 degree wind chill. Can you guys imagine? Minus almost 60 degree wind chill in North Dakota. Wow. Minus 35 degrees. 35 degrees below zero in Omaha. 22 degrees below zero in 17 degrees below zero in Kansas City. Can you guys imagine this? Now we're gonna see something like this. I can almost promise you it's not gonna be this significant though. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I think our models are picking up on a nice little polar jet dip here, but this. I don't know about that, guys. But again, something exciting for me to keep my eyes on with the severe weather, with the snow moving back up into the plains and into the Midwest, and now that there's a lot to look at. Kyle, we're going over these winter updates right now. Yep. We just saw snow in the south. How come severe weather is already coming? Like the weather's just bipolar. Well, that's what happens. You got a big chill, but there's warm air right behind it. Yeah. Big weather swings. Yeah. You typically don't see these type of swings once you get closer to the subtropics. You don't have as major of temperature swings, but you are going to have them right now. Is that why, Yali, is that why they call it Mother Nature? And because of how bipolar the weather is? Was that the joke? Mother Nature does whatever the heck she wants. Absolutely. Yeah, Mother Nature does whatever the heck she wants. Does this mean Houston is getting snow? I think Houston's gonna. I think Houston needs to worry about Houston needs to worry about a lot of rainfall moving into February. Potentially some severe weather. I do think are up towards kind of southeastern Dixie Alley type area. This is gonna be maybe even actually pushing up through here. This is gonna be our area really right here to watch for some severe weather. You could get some tailing severe weather in Houston though. San Antonio, again, I think, if we take a look here, at what we got moving forward at our quantitative precipitation, look at this rainfall, right? This is just one model, so don't take this too seriously, but we'll look at our ensembles later. Look at this rainfall, guys. This says almost a foot of rain in Houston. Over the next week, 9 inches. Yeah, Houston, from southern and eastern Texas, you're going to be worrying about a lot of rainfall. Southeastern U.S., probably, like I said, kind of Dixie Alley area down into the southeast, you're going to be worrying about some severe weather. We're going to be worrying about some significant snowfall and cold temperatures out here in the west, up through the central plains and up to the Midwest. And then, again, we'll see what happens up here in the northeast. That's kind of a question mark for me. I think they are going to get a lot of these storms that want to clip off into inner New England up there, though. My Apple weather, I almost want to stop reading when I see that, Yali. I'm just kidding. My Apple weather says we have a lot of rain coming up. I don't trust it. Well, let's just, this is just moving forward a week right here. This is just looking forward a week on our quantitative precipitation. So here's your rain shield over the next week for you guys. Here's your wet weather down here. And look at this. Isn't this a great sign? Look at that. Southern California. Let's go, baby. This is where we need it. Finally. Mesomat, you the man. I appreciate you. Oh my God. I've been missing the gifts, guys. Twin, Zachary, Derby, Yali, Tab, Kylie, Marla. I hate Dr. Phil. Oof. Gunkle B. I appreciate you guys. Mezzo, thank you. Houston, mostly rain, correct? Yeah, I'm not seeing any more snow moving into Houston anytime soon. That's for sure. Yeah, again, this rainfall is supposed to begin moving into Southern California pretty soon. Next 72 hours. And you could, I mean, there's models that want to bring up to 2 inches of rain in some areas. Anywhere from 1/2 to 2 inches of rain. So this could be very, very, very good. This could be very, 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 very good over the next 72 hours for Southern California. And it's about damn time, right? New Tornado Alley deep south. Well, Dixie Alley has been a Tornado Alley over the last 30 years has been shifting east. But there's always been a tornado, your main kind of Tornado Alley and then your Dixie Alley. There's always been your 2 separate Tornado Alleys. This is usually where you get your Big Daddy tornadoes, and this is where you can get just a lot of smaller tornadoes touchdown, but you can get some major tornadoes out here through Dixie as well. But there's... What the heck, Mezzo? Mezzo, I'm going to send all of these back when you're on stream later. I'm just going to gift you it all back. Yes, it's me. I appreciate you. Absolutely not. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who does what. Tennessee wants a break from all of it. I'm ready for some stable. Oh, you know what? Listen. Shelby. Shelby said, we're ready for some stable weather in Tennessee. We literally call it unstable air. When we have a severe weather outbreak, your air is going to be extremely unstable over the next. You're going to be so far away from stable over the next couple weeks. But you know, maybe a month from now, your air will restabilize in Tennessee. Again, I think, you know, hopefully. Well, I don't want to say hopefully this bad weather stays to the south. I'm not trying to screw over Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, but it's gonna be a rough couple weeks to start off February. No one needs to worry yet. We don't have any severe weather outbreak really in good forecasting range. The outlook is just something to be aware of and to prepare for, and to understand, you know, pushing into February, you're going to want to keep up with your weather updates. It doesn't have to be me. This isn't me promoting my channel, but you're going to want to understand what's happening in your area down in the southeast. Hopefully we don't have to use the word volatile. Exactly, Matt. Yali, I appreciate you. Wait, would you VC my 5th graders? We just started our weather unit and one of my students told me about you. VC, what does that mean, Britt? What do you mean by VC? Asking for a blizzard in northeastern Mississippi. Oh yeah, you guys missed out on... Oh, video chat. I figured. Video call. I mean, maybe, yeah. Inbox me. Send me an inbox. Send me like a, yeah, you know, like a DM on TikTok, and we can talk about that. That's cool. Your 5th graders know who I am. I think I'm good now. We're gonna try and get on. Okay, Mesomat's gonna get on now too. Cool. So we'll both be live streaming about this. Like I said, you know, we agree on what's happening as we move forward the next 3 weeks, me and Mesomat, but we explain things differently. We have different takes, and so it's interesting to get kind of both sides of the you know, I don't want to say story. We agree on how this thing's going to unfold, but we kind of present information in different ways. Will it be snowing in Tampa? No. I'll send the team over so you can get some help. Thanks, Matt. When could Kentucky get severe weather? Sorry, YouTube, I didn't forget about you. Yeah, I mean, we could see our first severe outbreak, you know, as early. I mean, this we'll see about this. This isn't. I'm not too worried about that down in the south. Our first significant severe event could be happening really to kick off February into the 31st and 1st, possibly more towards the 2nd. Those dew points are crazy. My favorite meteorologist has always been Jim Cantori because I lived in South Florida for 22 years, and I went through the eye of Wilma, Gene, Francis, and I was been watching him since I was 7 years old, basically. So it's always been Jim Cantori. My weather app showing 3 to 5 inches of snow February 6th to 7th. Yeah, right. Nice, Kyle. Yeah, Jim Cantori's a legend. We love him. Forecast, outcast for central New Jersey. You mean outlook? Yeah. I think it's gonna. I kind of like that. I kind of like that term though. Outcast, like the band. We're gonna stay cold out there in New Jersey for a while. We could get some of these. We've got a bunch of clippers moving through the Northeast. Maybe New Jersey gets a little bit of snow from one of these clippers, an inch or two. But then again, we get a lot of warm air moving through, and I think as we push into February, as we get deeper into February, we're gonna see a warm up, and we're gonna see some potential severe weather and some rain moving up through the Mid-Atlantic. So we're not going to be as cold in February and as snowy in February, at least through the first half of February, as we were in March. I mean, as we were in January. God, I'm getting tongue-tied. But I don't think our winter's over out there in the Mid-Atlantic. Guys, we're only halfway through winter right now. DYW, I appreciate you. What is a massive cold blast coming that you showed? Yeah, I mean, this would be like right around the 6th or 7th would be pushing down February 6th or 7th. Our Euro has a different timeline for this. We can see where this dip is on our Euro and where it is on our GFS. So on our Euro, we're seeing a major Arctic plunge right there. So that's around, wow, that's way earlier. Oh, and right here. So we're seeing on our Euro right here around the 3rd of February. And then another pretty significant dip right here out around the 7th or 8th. And then on our GFS likes this kind of troughing right here as well, not as far to the south as the Euro likes it. But our GFS right here at the end of this run, let's go into our 18Z. Our GFS at the end of this run right here. So what's happening here? Now this doesn't, if you looked at this, you'd say, well, this right here, this looks a lot farther south, right? But here's the problem. Our polar jet's actually up here. So let's move this forward. Here's the problem with this outbreak at the end. Here's our subtropical jet. Here's our polar jet. This thing. And you have, look at this. This is, now watch, let's go back to our temperatures here. Anomalies. You see that? That second jet, we have multiple jet second jet's supposed to be up here, guys. It's supposed to be up here. So the first one that dips down, so here's our first cold air moving down right here. Now, we still have our northern jet right here, and we have our southern jet right here. As we move forward, we have northern jet, southern jet. This right here would be record-breaking. Do I expect this to unfold like this? No. Why? Because it's such a rare event. But let's look at the Euro 12Z will give us a little bit, or the Euro 00Z tonight will give us a little bit of a look at that. The Euro, at the end of our last Euro 12Z, you can see what looks to be the beginning of it. Now, again, we would never trust a future radar or the future composite reflectivity on a map this far out where precipitation is going to fall. But these models can see troughing and ridging and cold air blasts and breaks in the polar jet, slows in the polar jet pretty far out. So if we were to see the Canadian and Euro start to agree with that crazy polar plunge on the GFS, that record-breaking polar plunge over the next few days, we'd have some serious news on our hands. Because this right here would be ridiculous, guys. I don't even know how to put it into words what this would... This right here would be ridiculous. I mean, you would have temperatures through this entire region right here from -20 to -60 degrees through this entire region. Arctic air. Actual, like if you're standing in the Arctic. With some winds, with some significant winds in some areas as well. So, that'll be fun as we move into the second week of February. February is going to be active. This is going to be... we have a lot more of this winter. I know we've seen some crazy stuff this winter already, especially with what just happened down in the south. And what really... I mean, we saw what happened in early November out in Colorado. But I think we're just getting started again. Yeah, pivotal weather. Thanks, Julie. This is pivotal weather. We've got Weather Bell. We can also take a look here. I mean, look at our GFS ensembles. 18Z. Let's look at our temperatures. Let's go into here. I don't want probabilities. Let's take a look here. Here we go. Surface temperature. Anomalies. Let's actually go into... What's our Canadian think? I mean, this... At the end of this Canadian, this is our Canadian ensemble. This is the... Any air you see right here, guys, this on this white line in this green, this is below freezing. So this is all negative. This is all negative degrees Fahrenheit. So you can see at the end of our Canadian ensemble, and this is an ensemble, so it's going to be, it's not going to be bullish, but you can see where that negative line wants to be right here. So let's push, let's take a look at our euro real quickly here. And this isn't going as far out. Let's go into our 12Z. With this negative air, below zero air, getting this far south, this is kind of a sign on the ensembles that they maybe do want that polar jet to move south. Everyone talked about this cold air that we have down here as like polar air. Our polar jet slowed and leaked a bunch of Arctic air down into the south, but our polar jet actually didn't dip this far south as it could this time. This would literally be your polar jet stream moving through America. So if we look at is that our euro? Here's our GFS. This is kind of a signal right here that we expect that polar jet to take a very, very, very far southern track, which we'll see what happens. But this is, again, as we push through February, this could spell a very cold February for the entire country from coast to coast. But I'd especially expect that to be amplified on the West Coast just because of our southern jet stream, the way it's going to be set up. So you'd be having more of this Arctic air leaking in on this side. But I mean, this is definitely the sign of an AO that wants to go negative. We can actually, let me take a look. I'll get back to chat. Let's look at our latest teleconnections here. Arctic oscillation on that ensemble. GFS really wants to stay positive. That's a sign of a lot of... This is the sign of a lot of Arctic air, cold air building up north. And eventually, once this snaps, again, this is going to move down to the south. We'll see if this actually does happen in mid-February. All right, let me move this back. Yeah, the color, on that map, that white... So that's what I was shown. So like when we were looking at this, anything up here... This is all below zero. Actual temperature, not wind chill. This is all below zero. But this is the ensemble. This is the ensemble. So this is taking in model runs that don't want it to be as cold. So in the deterministic, this would be much farther to the south. Watch if I showed you this on a deterministic model. On an actual, just say one run. Watch this. You see this? How much farther south this gets into the country? We can actually look. Our freezing air is going to be this blue line down here. This is going to be our 32 and below. So again, we'll see if this happens like this. It'd be kind of shocking. 00Z CFS kind of showed that Arctic breakout on the 8th. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. CFS. It's an experimental model, so it's not the best, but it does some okay stuff. I'm not seeing it on the CFS in this run. The CFS is doing some dumb stuff. The CFS wants to keep the West super warm. What is this doing? What is the CFS doing here? Okay, the last run, yes. Yeah, the 0. Oh, that's what you said, though. You said the 00Z. Yeah, this new run of the CFS is keeping like the entire country warm, or it's keeping troughing out to the east. That's just not correct. Oh, one second, guys. I gotta fix some stuff over on YouTube. There we go. Kyle, that's what happens. YouTube's terrible with that stuff. Every single time I stream, it's worse than TikTok. Every single time I stream, there's like spammers in it. So I'm just gonna make sure I report all the accounts. One second. No. There we go. There we go. One second. Yeah. But we just delete them. Yali, DW. Brett, I appreciate you. New Orleans. What's going on? Want me to mod you on YouTube? I'll block them. Hey, Julie, if you get over on YouTube, I'll make you a mod in 2 seconds. YouTube is harder to mod than freaking TikTok. Will Tennessee get more snow? I do think Tennessee gets more snow this winter, but I don't see any in your near future. Not that it couldn't happen, but right now in your near future, I'm not seeing. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Again, the way we want this to set up, you're going to be on that. We're more worried about you being on the severe weather side of this jet stream for a couple weeks here. But everyone who's like, oh no, we're heating up, severe weather in the southeast, winter's over. What do I say every stream? It's true, guys. The biggest snowstorms in East Coast history have almost always happened in late February and into March. Or mid-February into mid-March. Just like the 93 winter storm. So, snowstorms are less likely to occur, but when they do, there's a lot more energy associated with them. And you typically can get stronger systems. So you'll see a lot less snowfall in the east, typically mid-February to mid-March. But when you see it, you'll see a lot heavier snowfall. Why is that? Well, for a few reasons. As our waters start to warm up again down here, we get a lot more moisture into the air. Our Gulf heats up and cools down much quicker than the Atlantic Ocean. It's a smaller, more tight body of water. So as we start to push into spring, we start to get a lot more moisture available to us, pushing up. Because, you know, our storm systems move. Our winds move from west to east. Sometimes like this, sometimes like this. But this moisture and this heat and this energy starts getting really pulled in off the Gulf as we push later into February and into March. So all it takes is one shot of cold air down here to sync up, and you can get heavier snowfall than you can ever see in December and January. You just have a lot more energy to tap into in the southeast. And if your polar jet slows late in February or into March and allows that freezing air to interact with that increased energy off the Gulf as we get into that time frame, you get something special down there. I appreciate the follows. Appreciate the subs, guys. Thank you. I see you. Thank you, guys. Opinions on West Texas snow? Yeah, not looking too bad. Here's our Euro probability for you guys of an inch or more of snow into West Texas. Moving forwards here. Maggie, what's going on? So here is through the 30th, so about 6 days. Here's our probability of snowfall. So you can see a lot of these areas through here are about a 10 to 30% chance to see an inch or more of accumulation. The GFS is going to be way more bullish on this, I can guarantee you. Here's our GFS on this. Oh, this is going farther out. Let's just go to the 30th. Well, actually, the GFS pulled back. Are we in our 18Z? The GFS pulled back. Oh, that's right. We talked about this in the beginning of the stream. So, not the greatest chances, but we still have some chances. Obviously, anything yellow all the way up to red is basically 60 to 100% chance of seeing an inch or more snow. You can see where all the snow wants to get pulled. Oh, you know what? I said I was so tired tonight. I was gonna have I got this to work out today, but then I decided not to go to the gym because I'm lazy. And 300 milligrams pre-workout type drink. This will allow me to keep up on stream. I really need to slow down on my energy drinks. How far out can you see probabilities? Go to Gatlinburg mid-February. It wouldn't be accurate that far out. That's the problem. I can almost see that far out, but it wouldn't be accurate. I mean, we're looking out here February 8th at this point. You see, this is February 8th, guys, on our European model. You see what I'm telling you guys down south? I was trying to tell you guys weeks ago when I was seeing red and yellow down here, how we never see that in the southeast like that. That was weird. I think we'll see what we see moving forward. But maybe we'll get a little return to southern snow in late February, but it's going to be tough. No, what this is probability of seeing snowfall, an inch or more of snowfall, right? So when you start down here, this is 10%. And then you get into the blue, this is 20%. And then the green, it's 30 to 40%. And then the yellow's over 50%. And then obviously as you get into the red, we're getting closer to 100% chance of snow. So a lot of these areas up here are looking really good. Is it cold outside right now? It depends on where you are. It's cold where I am. Let's see, what's the temperature outside? It's actually been warming up. It's been warming up. 20 degrees where I am. My pipes. I tried to do my freaking laundry today, and my pipes were frozen, and I ran the water for like hours and pumped a bunch of heat into my laundry room, and they finally unfroze. High school tennis starts Monday in Atlanta. Are we done with missed days of school to snow? Yes, you are, Troy. At least for the next few weeks. Probably for the rest of the year, but I can't guarantee that. You're going to have an issue with severe weather, though, in Atlanta. I can promise you that. Not that you're going to see a severe thunderstorm, but the outlook for severe weather in the southeast over the next 2 to 3 weeks is pretty significant. Please answer. I've been watching forever. Will it snow in Seattle? Well, if you have been watching forever, you would have heard me say that the snow chances are going through the roof for the Pacific Northwest as we get into February. Yeah. You're expected to see below average temperatures return, significantly below average temperatures returning back to the Pacific Northwest as we enter February, and increased precipitation. With below average temperatures and increased precipitation, that's what gives you a chance for low elevation snow, especially into Seattle and the Pacific Northwest in February. So I'd say you'll probably get some Seattle snow in February, yeah. Not just on the mountains. You guys, maybe I'm wrong. I remember when I was younger, I thought Seattle got so much snow because it was such a high latitude. How much snow does Seattle get a year? Like 3 inches? Average snowfall in Seattle. It blew my mind when I looked this up the other day. 6 inches. Guys, did you know that Charlotte, North Carolina, over the last 100 years, averages the same amount of snowfall per year as Seattle, Washington? Did you guys know that? Charlotte, North Carolina, right down here, averages the same amount of snowfall as Seattle, Washington, which is way to the north. It's wild. I know. That's because land cools much quicker than water does. So this land cools, and it allows much colder surface air into Charlotte. Whereas off the coast of Seattle, Washington, you have a big body of water that does not cool as quick. And so you're not getting as cold surface air pushing into Seattle as you are into Charlotte, even though it's much farther to the north. The farther you get away from the oceans, the steeper your temperature swings. Your YouTube chat is annoying. People say the same comment 10 times in a row. Oh, did my chat freeze again? Oh my God, my YouTube chat froze again. Yeah, Julie. Sorry, I I like YouTube a lot, but I don't have any of these issues on TikTok with my chat freezing, with the amount of spam. I get some spam, but like there's so many issues on the YouTube side. I think it's frustrating. Who? Oh, there you are, Julie. Let me make you a mod. There you go. There you go. Thanks, Julie. Who has the effort to do the India so many better things? Well, I missed it. Celine said help. Yeah. I don't know. I need to ask Matt to get me some mods over on YouTube. 1 second. Let me message him. Let me message him real quick so that it's not a shit show over there, guys. Okay. I requested help. I can be a mod if need be. I think we're good. I think he's going to send me one over. Mod us all. We would take care of it. Yeah, I mean, I do. You're right. I mean, I do. Yeah, here. I mean, I do. Here we go. I kind of know which ones here. Which one is you over on YouTube? We've been here for a little bit. Yeah, okay, guys. Take care of that. Take care of that. Okay? 1 second, guys. We're getting back to this. Thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah, don't spam. Don't spam, guys. You guys can, yeah. There you go. Hide from chat. All right. Sorry, I'm back TikTok. You guys are mods. YouTube and the spammers strike again. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Who would have thought that there were more respectful people on TikTok than YouTube? What are we looking at? I just joined. Leda. We are looking at a lot of snow through the central plains up into the northern plains and Midwest. Moving into February, a lot of severe weather in the southeast, a return to cold air and probably some low elevation snow up in the Pacific Northwest, and a return, especially into the first week of February, of some moisture. And over the next 72 hours, some good moisture and rainfall and snow into high elevations down into Southern California. All right, take care of that, guys. Guys, over here on TikTok, I wish you could see how obnoxious YouTube constantly is. Mods, you're too slow. I did it. When will meaningful rain happen in North Carolina? Northern California? You guys are getting a lot of you guys are going to see. You could obviously right here. Moving into the end of January, we have some model consensus on the European, Canadian, and an American model for a significant increase. Let's go. Let's take a look at what's the latest on NOAA. Here we go. Here to mod. Okay, I got you. Thank you, guys. I have everyone's to the rescue. There are people. There are literally people who just they spend their entire life just spamming in chats for no reason. Jamie, I appreciate you. Are Philly snowstorms over? No, I think we're gonna get a bigger snowstorm in the Mid Atlantic later this year than we've had this season. We'll have a pattern shift back. Listen, if it didn't snow again, you have to understand, we're literally only halfway through winter. The odds that it doesn't snow again in Philly is very low. I mean, like 10% chance. Could it not snow again in Philly? 100%. But the odds that it doesn't is just low. Philly, even though we've been in a snow drought, Philly averages 16 to 18 inches of snow a year. Have we been getting 16 to 18 inches of snow a year in Philly? No. But that's because we're in a drought. Droughts come and go. So the odds are still that we're going to see more snow in Philly. And I do think end of February, early March, we're going to see a shift back to some good snow out there. It might come earlier, though. Mike, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, it's really, there's no one spamming on YouTube like asking questions. There's just people spamming on YouTube who are just doing it to like get, you know, like see this person. Yeah, they're just doing it to get attention. All right. You guys are on top of it. I'm good on Monzo. I'm good on Monzo over on YouTube. If I need more, I'll add you guys. I'm good for now. I appreciate you guys. Oh, what I was trying to say, Connor, is speaking facts in Long Island, we always get one big storm in February. Yeah. It's you get a lot more energy up the East Coast, up the Eastern Seaboard once you get into February and March. So we'll see what happens. Louisiana getting more snow. I would not bank on it. Not impossible. TikTok reviews, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, especially with the setup we have moving forwards, because the best chance you have of getting any snow into Louisiana, into Florida, into Mississippi, Alabama, these down there in the South, especially along the Gulf, it typically has to happen in January. It has to be the perfect storm of events, no pun intended, because there's only about a month or a month and a half of the year where even with perfect conditions, you can get that below freezing air to touch the Gulf. So as we push out of January, it's going to be tougher. I'm going to go to Max and happy streaming. Yeah, thanks, Ashley. Yeah, I got some mods. I got some mods over here on YouTube now, so it's good. We're good. I appreciate you guys. And anyone who offered as well. I appreciate you guys. Please talk a bit about the next big rain in North California. Yeah, here we go. We can take a look. We'll take a look at we'll compare some model trends here. Let's move forward to, let's go out to about 141, and we'll move a little bit farther out. Let's go into our 00Z, 18Z. Quantitative precipitation. Here we go. And we'll look out close to 10 days. All right. Now this should be showing. I'm going to have to go back down to the 12Z. That's fine. To give us some options here. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I don't know why it's just showing me the GFS, but that's fine. We'll just go back here to forecast loop, and I'll show you the comparison here. Here's what our American model thinks moving forward. As we push into next Friday, the 30th, the 31st, pretty significant wave of moisture moving into the Pacific Northwest and up through central, really just into the west. You can see some of that rainfall and snow making into the low elevations, low latitudes of California as well. And that's kind of going to sit there for a while. You can see we have a decent low pressure system moving down here into Southern California. That's kind of the look on our GFS. So we compare that over to our 12Z of the Euro. It sees something similar. You can see right here, same time frame around the 30th, 31st of January. We see a lot of moisture moving into Northern California, Central and Southern. And then right behind it, it sees that low moving into Southern California as well. Not as significant, not as deep of a low. On the GFS, it wants it to be almost more like a bomb cyclone moving into Southern California, but the Euro pulls back a little bit. But they all show multiple storm systems, over the next about 10 days moving into the West Coast, really up and down the coast, from Washington all the way down to Southern California. It's going to be active. And then we could take a look real quick. We can do a little bit more model agreement here and take a look at our Canadian as well. Our Canadian sees the same type of thing as we push into the 30th, 31st. Not as bullish on the moisture, but still bring some moisture in, and then bring some more in right behind it around the 2nd and 3rd. So again, you weren't seeing this for a while, but it's moving back. We can take a look at our European ensemble. We can go to surface, precipitation, and we'll go to our 15-day anomaly. And 1 second, let's get back into our 12Z. All right, that's not going to help me. Here we go. Well, this is showing here. Let's go into 10-day. This is showing actually precipitation moving significantly back. Oh, you guys can't see this. This is showing our precipitation moving back into the Pacific Northwest, but California's been so dry. Even though we're going to have a lot of moisture moving in, we're still going to be sitting in a drought. I mean, obviously, it's a significant drought out there. Here's Here's our Euro total precipitation. Our European ensemble total precipitation over the next 7 days. Not a bad look for the West Coast again, especially the Pacific Northwest. This is not what we've been seeing at all over the last couple months. So, all right, let me move this back over here. Euro and GFS equally looking like Manhattan, Kansas will get hit again. Manhattan, Kansas. I don't know where Manhattan, Kansas is, but we have multiple storm systems moving over the state of Kansas. 1, 2, 3. I mean, the GFS likes that too. Again, like I've been talking about through most of the stream, that's our jet stream's going to like storms through Kansas. 1, 2, 3. Will they be? The problem is there's a chance you're on, there's a chance that for some of these you're on the ice or severe weather side of the and the snow's to your north. But again, I think you're going to see some significant winter storms potentially through northern and western Kansas if our jet stream does set up the way we're expecting it to, like this. You're going to have these storms moving up through, starting kind of originating down here in the southwest and riding that jet stream up through the central plains and up into the Midwest with severe weather down here and winter weather up here. Jennifer and Marla, I appreciate you guys. If this is going to be a pretty chill winter for the first half of February, do you think it'll ramp up towards the second half into March? Well, the weather isn't going to be chill at all in the beginning of February. It's going to be crazy. If you're talking about the temperatures, well, it's going to be very cold out west and very much warmer in the southeast, and especially the east in February. But I don't think that holds for the entire month of February. I think we get a shift with some winter weather back east as we push through February. Is Georgia finally done with snow? It may be. Definitely in the forecasting future. In the outlook, we'll see, but for a while, yes. Should I be worried about ice potential in Kentucky in February? Yeah, you're not on the... Yeah, the areas I would worry about, the way our jet stream and the way our atmosphere wants to set up moving into February, I would be worried about some ice into these regions. Yeah. Between where we're expecting our severe weather, which would be here, say severe weather, you sometimes can get some ice into here, and then you can get your snow into here. So, when you have a jet stream set up like that, but there's there's nothing to worry about right now because there's nothing in forecasting range that says like, hey, you're gonna have a big ice storm. So there's still a lot that needs to happen, a lot that we need to watch, and we'll know when we get closer. Appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you. And any subs on YouTube, I can't. It's not showing me I have to set it. It doesn't show me if anyone subs on YouTube, which is annoying, but I will figure that out. Still figuring out the multi-streaming. It's a little complicated. Kyle, did you just now become a mod? Yeah. Yeah. Radar over Wisconsin right now showing much for totals. What, you mean like radar? Like our radar Omega? Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, about to move into Green Bay. Ooh, big storm. Let me see where our bands are. I can't pronounce these names in Wisconsin. Kashena, Shawano, Nina, Oshkosh. I mean, that's like Minnesota. Minnesota may even have some crazier names. Look at that. Gaylord, New Ulm, Sleepy Eye. That's interesting. Waseka, Awawatona. God. Yeah, some significant winter weather moving east right now into towards Green Bay. We can take a look real quick and on our HRRR and see what we're expecting with totals. Let's zoom in there real quick. Here we go. Hello? Are they really expecting no snow to fall from this? Okay. So these models expect the snow to evaporate before it hits the ground. What's our Euro think? Our Euro is in a short range, but sometimes our Euro will disagree. Your air is a little bit too dry. Our Euro doesn't think. Our Euro thinks that the snow is going to reach the ground. But very, very, very small totals. Half inch to an inch. Our short-range model thinks that the snow, this kind of clipper system that's moving over you guys right now, is the snow's kind of evaporating before it hits the ground. This band right here does not look like evaporating snow. If you guys can see radar omega all the way at the bottom. This band right here moving, that's going to move between Marinette and Green Bay. From Green Bay up to Marinette, that doesn't look like evaporating snow to me. That looks like it's potentially going to reach the ground. But the short-range models would like to disagree with me. Oh, man, you're butchering them? Nate, I know. I know. Mid-Michigan, the 31st look bad. Can you check? Yeah, we'll give it that check. We'll give that a check. We'll actually, we'll look at our 18Z. Did you say the 31st? Let's see. It probably looks bad on our GFS and doesn't look bad at all on our Euro. What? The 31st? I'm just coming on, but will Texas see snow again? North and western Texas might, actually. It's going to be tough to see anymore in that central, eastern, and southern Texas this winter. I don't see anything going on in Michigan around the 31st. Connor, significant severe weather in the south. Make me a mod, please. Okay. There you go, Santiago. I trust you. How likely is it to... Oh, you said the first? Some rainfall. This system doesn't look too bad. I mean, maybe on the it's too, that's too, I wouldn't worry about the first right now. Out over 170 hours. We need a little bit more time. Yeah. How likely is it to have a snowstorm for northern Wisconsin in the first weekend of February? Again, you know, I think you're going to have a snowstorm right before it or right after it. I don't know if you're going to have a snowstorm that weekend. Wisconsin's in just a good spot to see some significant winter weather pushing into February, especially to kick it off. Iowa's barely gotten any snow. Cat's Life, that's going to change very soon. Okay? Jot it down. Save it. Print it. Post it. Take a picture with it. It's going to change. Our storm track is going to be nice to Iowa, I think. Hopefully our jet stream doesn't set up 150 miles to the north and west of where we expect it, because then maybe you'll just get a bunch of ice. But I think you're going to get some good snow here in February. I do. Do you think St. Louis will be more rain or snow in the next couple of weeks? Yeah, it's going to be, you guys are going to be on the borderline of snow, mixing, sleet, freezing rain, thunderstorms, severe weather. You guys are going to be sitting under that 500 millibar jet, and you're kind of just, it's going to be storm by storm. That's what I'll tell you. You're going to have some storms that want to track a lot of snow in. You're going to have some storms that want to put you on the rain, thunderstorm side. That's a tough call there. That's going to be tough. Happy Friday, guys. To anyone who's just joined in here. One second. God, why is everyone so sick? Sorry, 1 second, guys. Guys, I'm 1,800 followers away from 100K. I'll stop. I will never, once I reach 100K followers, I will never ask anyone to follow me again. I don't know. That's going to be tough, but I'm just really excited. This is a milestone I've been excited about. So anyone who has followed, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Or subbed, but thank you guys. Is Nebraska going to get inches of snow? Yeah, Nebraska is safer than so when people are talking about, see, someone asked about St. Louis. This is a very, with the jet stream that's set up like this, you're going to be kind of a sketchy. Are you going to be in ice? Are you going to be in snow? Are you going to be in mixing? I think Nebraska is going to be on the wintry side of most of these systems. All of Nebraska. So I think Nebraska is going to feel very much more. I mean, your snow chances are way more elevated in February than they were in January. Significantly more. What is the time frame for severe weather in Georgia? Yeah, we have a little bit more time before we see our. I mean, this is going to drop a little bit of rainfall. Our first significant event looks to potentially be through the 29th and 30th. I mean, this is the first one I'm worried about right here. The 1st and 2nd of February, that's the first one I'm worried about. Let's take a look at that on the Euro. Here we go. Now, we could see something here in the 29th and 30th. You can see this kind of popcorn, these thunderstorms here. Now, why do I not think this is going to be severe weather? Well, look at our flow here, guys. We have what we call zonal flow. So we've got westerly winds here. We've got westerly cold air here. Your winds, your cold air and warm air aren't shoving into each other. They're kind of riding along each other. So what happens when that happens? Well, even if you have some wind shear here, you're not going to have any updrafts. When you have warm air and cold air slamming into each other like this, you can get updrafts. So you can get warm air colliding with cold air, and that warm air starts to push up, and it tilts those spinning columns of air because of wind shear on the surface, and it tilts them up into tornadoes. This type of look could be some severe thunderstorms. I'm not looking at this right here for a tornado outbreak. But this right here could be an issue. This right here could be an issue. Warm air into cold air, and some significant wind shear. You can see how close these isobars are. Significant pressure change through a small region here. This is instability. This is classic instability. Although the one a little bit farther out looks even crazier, but it's farther out. So this right here is just insanity on this radar. This is a scary look right here. But we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on that one. But I would say this right here, again, around February 1st into the 2nd, we need to watch. That's our first one we're watching, and then there's one right behind it, and maybe right behind it, but. First couple days of February, we just need to be on the lookout and be prepared for that. Joe, I appreciate you. Thank you, Joe. Have you mentioned East Tennessee? I think East Tennessee is gonna. Yeah, I don't know what to say about East Tennessee except for expect some significant rainfall, maybe some severe weather as we push into the first half of February. I wouldn't expect too much snowfall over the next couple or few weeks, but I don't know if you're done with snow this winter. Yeah. I mean, listen, Reed Timmer called a tornado outbreak earlier in the season over 10 days out. And how was he able to do that? Well, we're able to exactly where a tornado is going to spawn, or exactly where a big heavy snow is going to move over, or exactly where the heaviest rainfall is going to fall 10 days out is impossible to forecast. Anything past 4 to 5 days is impossible to forecast. But where these major troughing and ridging events happen on a large scale, so if we were to zoom out here, where you see these little blobs, these are high and low pressures. Our models are pretty good at seeing where these are going to move. And when you see something like this, and you've got a low pressure digging, some troughing digging very far into the southwest here, with some warm air moving up off the Gulf, you can bet, and you can see how tight our isobar lines here. You can bet there's going to be some instability here. So really good meteorologists like Reed Timmer, who he specializes in severe weather, can look at these larger troughing patterns and and can look at weather on a more macro level and say, okay, well, even though this is over 200 hours out and we should never forecast this far out, I at least know in this region, there's probably going to be instability there. Is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? We don't know, but there's probably going to be instability there because the models kind of know on a more macro level how these pockets of air are going to move. But down to a local level, it's impossible to forecast, where exactly down to like a zip code level are these severe weather, is this severe weather going to move through? Is this type of event right here going to unfold like this? Or is this could this squall line be farther up here? Could it be farther down here? Where's going to be our most significant pocket of instability? That is yet to be said, or yet to be found out. Yet to be determined. That's what I was looking for. I supported Reed for a long time. Yeah, Reed's the man. Does temperature affect tornadoes? And what I mean was, I've always been told if it's below 70, we shouldn't get any. It's hard to get tornadoes with cold air. Here's why. You have a lot of instability in the atmosphere when there's a lot of warm air at the surface and a lot of cold air aloft. Because warm air wants to rise and cold air wants to sink. And as that happens, you get an updraft, you get instability. So if there's cold air at the surface and warm air aloft, you're probably not going to have that much instability. So yeah, if your temperatures are in the 40s, 50s, low 60s, you have less of a chance of having a pocket of warm air at the surface with cold air aloft. The cooler it gets, your chances do decrease. Also, the warmer air you have and the higher dew points you have, the more moisture that's available, the more convection that's available to assist with these low pressures forming and the vorticity that you need in the atmosphere. So yes, as the temperature decreases, your chances to see tornadoes decrease. But we also don't see a lot of strong tornadoes in the middle of summer. And why is that? Because you need cold and warm air for your strongest tornadoes. Because you need the interaction of warm air and cold air, which causes a major pressure gradient, which causes a lot of instability, a lot of warm air to rush vertical, or rush up, and cold air to rush down. You get vertical wind shear, you get horizontal wind shear on the surface. So when everything's hot, if you have hot air above you and hot air on the surface, well, that's not instability. That's actually stability as well. That's the same. That's just as much stability as having cold air on the surface and warm air aloft. So that's why our tornado seasons are the transition in between our coldest months. So that's why our tornado seasons are the transition from, fall into winter, where you have cold air and warm air interacting and clashing, and our climate's trying to switch from a warm climate to a cold climate. And then you have it in spring, where we have the cold air that's trying to transition into warm air, and you have a bunch of unstable stuff happening over our country. Something like 80% of all tornadoes on planet Earth happen in the United States of America, because we're this country is geographically located in an area that gets a more cold and warm air and dry and moist air interaction than any country on the entire planet. So look it up. Maybe it's 75% of all tornadoes happen in the U.S. We literally are the tornado capital of the world, and it's not even close. It's not even close. We're the severe weather capital of the world, too. It's not even close. Talk to people in Europe. They get severe weather once a year. I mean, we get it thousands of times. Connor, can you explain lake effect snow? Yes. When we push into winter, again, so land cools much quicker than water. So as we push into winter, our land cools very quickly up here around the Great Lakes. Very, very quickly. But our Great Lakes don't. So we start getting surface temperatures up and around the Great Lake regions down below freezing, while our lakes are still up at 50, 60 degrees. And what happens is when we get some very significant troughing, and we get some of that Arctic air pulled down above the surface and over the lakes, You have extremely, extremely super chilled air that's just flowing over the top of water that is 30 to 40 degrees warmer than the air, and that causes a significant amount of moisture, condensation, evaporation, and that pulls all of that water off of the surface of the lakes. It condenses it into clouds and pushes it on shore. So it's basically just that cold air is, imagine this, that cold air is moving over this water that's significantly warmer than it, causing that water to rise and dump right onto shore. That's why you don't see lake effect snow move thousands of miles in. When you get lake effect snow, it can only go so far inland, because it's taking that moisture from the lake and piling it up on the shore. It's extremely cold air moving in over the lake, and it's condensing into clouds, and then it's just dumping right here, and then there's nothing left over here. And again, that's why a lot of times, like, our lake effect snow is really going to be slowing down now, because a lot of the lake's freezing. And what's happening now is eventually your lake temperature catches up to your land temperature. And now, okay, our lake is freezing temperatures and our land's freezing temperature. So when you have significantly cold air moving over the lakes, it's not pulling much moisture up anymore. But again, in December and January, when you have super chilled air moving over warmer lake water, it's just creating its own clouds. It's creating its own snow and just dumping right here on the shore. Lake Erie is 37 degrees right now. Yeah. So in December, when you had some significant lake effect snow, the lake was like over 50 degrees, and it had air that was around anywhere from 15 to 25 degrees flowing over the surface of it. And that just creates a ridiculous amount of condensation, and that all that water on the surface moves in to the shore as snow. Lake Erie is 33 degrees and 80% ice covered. Yeah, so now you'd expect that lake effect snow to really cut off. Yep. Let's see here. One second, guys. Well, central North Carolina get more snow. There's none in forecasting range, so I can't tell you if it will or not. I would say there's not 100% that it won't. We're only halfway through winter. Again, there's been big snows in central North Carolina in February and March before, so there's none in forecasting range right now. There's none in the next. It doesn't look very likely in the next couple weeks or few weeks. I'll say that. Severe weather in Atlanta next week. I'd say we need to watch as we get through next week and approach next weekend. We need to watch for the threat for severe weather in Atlanta. Is there any truth to the next winter storm prediction for the southern states February 6th? If it's February 6th, there's no truth to it, no. Nope, that's impossible to forecast. Almost 2 weeks, it's impossible. There's a crazy, crazy significant polar plunge. Literally, our polar jet wants to dip far south. And I'd say in 3 days we can probably confirm if that's going to happen, and if we can confirm that in 3 days with some good model consensus, we'll start watching the southeast for another snowstorm. But right now, that's not even confirmable yet. Laddie, what's going on? Can you explain how jet streams are predicted? Yeah, I mean, jet streams. Here you go. Let's zoom out a little bit. We can go here. In our atmosphere, your winds want to move from a high pressure to a low pressure. So what's a high pressure? A high pressure is typically when you have converging winds up at the tropopause, the top of the troposphere. The troposphere is where all your weather happens. Converging winds that then are forced down, forcing air down, not allowing any lift. So that's why under a high pressure, it's usually dry. If you have no lift, you can't get any moisture. You can't get you can't get any sort of moisture condensing. So this is a high pressure. These are winds that are just slamming into each other, forcing air down, air particles down. This is going to be dry. What you have right here is associated with the low, meaning you have diverging winds, meaning there's a gap in air particles above your head that the air particles where you are on the surface want to move up into and fill. That will pull moisture up and allow moisture to condense and turn into storms, condensation, or precipitation. So in our atmosphere, our winds, our air particles want to move from a high pressure to a low pressure. They do this very rapidly, and there's a lot of them. This, on a more macro scale, is what can lead to our jet stream. So you're typically going to have, and the jet stream is different in the northern and southern hemisphere as well. Obviously, the jet stream, our winds are westerly in the northern hemisphere, meaning they move from the west to the east, and they're easterly in the southern hemisphere, meaning they move from the east to the west. And this is kind of just has to do with, it's the Coriolis effect. But your jet stream, your significant jet stream is your 500 millibar jet stream. So your jet stream that's sitting in the middle of the troposphere, in the middle of where all of our weather happens on planet Earth. And it all has to do with air particles moving in between high and low pressures. And eventually, now you're not going to, your high and low pressure is going to be a high and it's going to be a low pressure for a while. But eventually a high pressure, there's going to be enough air particles that leave a high pressure and enter into a low pressure that eventually your high pressure is not going to be a high pressure anymore. It's going to be a low pressure. It's going to transition. That takes a while though. Ski trip planned at Afton. Is that Minnesota? February 7th to the 9th. Polar vortex going to hit during those dates? Maybe. It might be cold up there during then, but a little bit too far out to know for sure. So here's a look at our jet stream. Here's a look at our jet stream. These are mid-level winds. And you can see here's a low pressure. Okay? Here's a high pressure to the north. So these air particles are going to flow from a high pressure to a low pressure, and this is just what creates a stream of air, a stream of wind. And that stream of wind is what helps move around a lot of cold and a lot of warm air. Right here, this is your stream, your wind stream pulling down a ton of cold air. Right here, you have this wind, this southwesterly wind pulling up a bunch of warm air. There's a movie on this. Is Maryland going to get anything from this? Maryland's not looking at any big snow anytime soon. Maybe something from a Clipper system at the end of January, but we're going to need to wait a little bit. Terry, I appreciate you. Can you show the total snow accumulation through the first week of February? We can show what the Euro thinks. I'll show what our latest 18Z GFS thinks. I mean, our 00Z is actually loading, but let me see how our 00Z the GFS handles this. Guys, I was telling you this last stream. You see how much? Remember how we were talking about? People were saying snow in Dallas again. Look, and I said this was going to pull up to the northwest. Look how far this snow has gone back up to the northwest. Okay, here's our latest kind of snow projection. Take this with a grain of salt, though. Here's the latest snow projection from the Euro. I mean, from the GFS through the first kind of week of February. Take this with a grain of salt. This is too far out. There you go. Just for fun. That's where the GFS thinks our snowfall is going to be through the first week of February. Take that with a grain of salt, guys. I kind of agree with it, but it's not going to look exactly like this because a lot of the snow is out of forecasting range. I truly trust you more than news. Thanks, Kayla. Listen, there are some really great meteorologists. There's some really great local meteorologists. I really like Brad down in Charlotte. I always thought he was a great meteorologist. I've lived in cities where I hated our local meteorologist. I just couldn't agree with him more, or couldn't disagree with him more. But I've lived in cities where I'm like, I think that I really like how this guy covers this stuff. It's a tough job though. Why do places like North Carolina and Tennessee temperatures raise and drop so fast? Well, actually, they do not raise and drop as fast as a lot of other areas in the country. I know it seems like they do. But the regions of your countries that have the most significant temperature swings are two. They're the regions that are the farthest away from the oceans and any bodies of water, meaning this region specifically, and desert regions. This where I circled this region of the country, all of this, has the most significant temperature swings by far, and it's not even close to what you experience out there in Tennessee and North Carolina. Again, a couple of years ago, it was like 86 degrees in Denver, and the next day it was 20 degrees with a foot of snow on the ground. Literally 24 hours. That would never happen in Carolinas. Maybe a 48-hour swing, though. The United States, in general, has much more major swings in temperatures than most other countries, because we have one of the warmest bodies of water on the planet in the Gulf of Mexico here, with a massive Canadian with a massive landmass, which is Canada, to our north, that allows and land cools and heats much quicker than water does. And this interaction here causes major swings in temperature throughout the U.S. Yeah, except for really if you're right on the shorelines, your swing in temperatures aren't that significant. Gulf of America, sir. Yes, sorry. Do you think we will have an El Nino next year? I think we're going to be sitting closer to neutral, which is why I'm concerned. I think hurricane season is going to be neutral to a weak La Nina, which is why I'm concerned we're going to have some very significant Gulf hurricanes this year, kind of like we did last. And getting in late. Nikki, what's going on? Any severe weather for North Mississippi next week? Oh yeah, we're watching it. I don't want to worry anyone, but next weekend and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have a lot of consensus on possible significant squall line moving through the southeast. So this one I'm a little bit concerned about. What I'm more concerned about is the consensus we have on this storm that's a little bit farther out. The Euro gives us a good look at this. I'm a little bit more concerned on if we see something like this happening. This would be more along. This would be more. I mean, yeah, that would be late into next weekend, I guess. Or here we go. This right here. Sorry. I mean, really, that would be the start. So this is February 2nd, 3rd, 4th. That looks a little bit more scary to me than even what we could see at the end of next weekend. So we really need to watch this stuff moving ahead. Southeast Georgia, hurricanes and snow. And tornadoes. You forgot that. Wisconsin's getting pounded. I think it will in February. I'm going to start a petition for an early spring. Yeah. 00Z GFS moving in. I know. It is. Here it comes. Look at that. Look at that snow through Kansas. Very far western Oklahoma, northern Texas. I mean, where's Flower? Albuquerque getting absolutely hammered. What's the latest snow projections down there on the GFS? Look at this. 50 inches. Couple feet in Albuquerque. Georgia people greedy, bro. Charlotte barely got anything. Yeah, you had snowfall to your north and west with the first system, like over an inch fall to your north and west of Charlotte. And then the second system, you had over an inch fall a little bit to your east. The one part of North Carolina, I mean, you had over an inch of accumulation in every part of the Carolinas except for... Actually, you got some up here too. So, really... This is the only part of North Carolina that hasn't had any sort of decent snow accumulation, basically. Right here. Because you had some of this in the first snowstorm, and then you got some good snow out here with this one. Greensboro got some with the first snowstorm. So, right here. Yeah, Charlotte, it happens again. That's just the luck of the draw, and it's unlucky for Charlotte people who wanted to see snow. Wind predictions, we're going to have some significant windstorms moving through the south and east to start off February. How How bad? I think we're gonna have some hurricane force gusts with some of these squall lines. First couple. Really, I'll say the first week of February. Why did this happen, Connor? I don't know. Chicago severe weather. Chicago very wintry weather. It's not severe weather in the form of strong thunderstorms and tornadoes, but you could get some, depending on how these systems want to move, some ice through Chicago. Appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you. And the subs on YouTube. Ruidoso, New Mexico. Looks like they're going to get hammered. I don't know where that is in New Mexico. All I know is most of New Mexico is going to see a ton of snow. At least. We're getting very close. We're about 120 hours out. I like to be 120 hours out and under. We're going to see, you know, unless you're on the southern border of New Mexico, you're probably going to see some good snowfall. Indiana. Michelle said. Indiana's another area. You know, you can see where Noah likes. You can see where Noah likes our precipitation in February right here. Do you notice where Indiana is in this? Not a little bit above average. Not a little bit more above average, but significantly above average precipitation in February. Now, a lot of stuff in February up there falls as snow. But what I'm concerned with is our jet stream that wants to set up kind of like this. Are you guys on the snow side of a lot of these systems, or is Indiana on the ice side of a lot of these systems? If our jet stream sets up like this, you're going to be on the ice and rain side. So it's going to be a close call. We need to wait a little bit longer. But you guys are expected to see some. I think your temperatures will remain right around average, maybe slightly below average. But I think right around average in February, and you're going to see an increase in precipitation. Julie, you're awesome. Yeah, I appreciate anyone for the. Thank you, anyone who's gifted or followed or even just been in on stream with me today. I appreciate you guys. I love doing this. My dream is to do this full time one day. So I mean, I already spend 40 hours a week on this, but I have another 40-hour job too. So it's a lot. Hopefully one day I can just focus on this. But you guys getting me a little closer to that goal, so I appreciate you, Asha and. Oops. Let me stop moving my thing around here. Mom of threes. I appreciate you guys. How is the patterns looking like for southeast snow? Not great moving forward over the next couple weeks. I don't know if you're done, though. We'll have to see what happens mid-February to late February. Charlotte, North Carolina, bad weather. Yeah, we're going to be watching for a little bit of severe weather potentially through the Charlotte region as we enter February. No snowstorm right in Charlotte's forecast, but severe weather is potentially in Charlotte's forecast right now. Erie, PA is still looking like it wants to pile up a little bit more snow. There's a lot of clippers moving through here over the next week that want to dump a little bit of snow into upstate New York, down through Buffalo and Erie. So I don't think you're not done with snow in January yet. Not yet. Would you say it's a low chance southern New Mexico gets snow? Hey, you want to go to our probabilities? Because I hate doing probabilities. Let's do this really quickly. Regions. Let's just go states. Let's just get into it. Euro, ensemble, states. 1 second here. Let's go to our 18Z. Let's go to our 12Z. And 1 second, guys. Why is it only giving me... I gotta refresh this. Here we go. There we go. We'll go regions. I'll just go southwest. Here's your Euro probabilities. Actually, south central. Here's your Euro probabilities of snowfall in New Mexico. GFS is going to be more bullish. So really anywhere in this area that I'm circling it's giving you a 60 up to a 90% chance of an inch or more of snowfall in New Mexico. Now, the GFS is probably going to be much more bullish on this. Let's see. Look at that. Here's the GFS for a decent amount of snow accumulation. This is kind of your line here for 50 to 100% chance of snow accumulation. Now, down here, again, you're looking at a 10 to a 30% chance. Right down there near the border. So this is like a 90% chance of snow. 90 to 100% chance of snow in the red. I love that feature because I hate giving percent chances. It's too hard. 33.3 repeating. Man, I hope North Carolina gets it. What, the severe weather or the snow? I'm guessing you mean the snow. Someone said Nevada. Yeah, look at some of that snow that wants to move into Nevada. Interesting, huh? Now, this is going to be some elevation snow, but that's some snow pretty close to, that's some snow pretty dang close to Vegas, isn't it? Pretty close. This New Mexico snow, this isn't too far away. I mean, this is moving to the middle of next week, likely. I usually wouldn't even be focusing too much on it, but there's just we have full global model consensus, and we're 120 hours out now, so we'll see something down there for sure. What is the gas showing for Florida? Oh, you mean the GFS? I'm confused. Wait, let me look at something here. Okay. Almost want to use content to make side bets at work. Yeah, right? That's funny. Yeah, here's our 0-0-Z with that severe weather in the south. Again, I'm not too worried about this right here. I don't think that we're going to see too much instability with that. We can take a little quick look here. I'll cheat. I'll cheat here. Notice. Not too much Cape. Pretty much no forecasted Cape. Nothing on the hodograph. Almost no. I mean, insignificant wind shear. But let's move forward here a little bit. This right here. That's actually not too significant either. There's some vertical wind shear. Wow, what a weird look. 1 second, guys. We'll have to let this load a little bit more. There we go. Mama 3, Asha, Terry, I appreciate you guys. People in Miami swear it's snowing and they are recording and all. Wait, what? Yeah, I have a lot of family in Florida and they're all posting on Instagram, TikTok, and everything, and they're like posting their temperature, and it's like in the 50s. I had my cousin, and I think did she do it? And I have a lot of friends who live in Orlando, and they're posting temperatures in like the high 40s and the low 50s, and they're like, it's freezing here, and everyone up north is like, God, we would love 50-degree weather. We would die for 50-degree weather. Listen, though, 50 degrees in Florida is much colder than 50 degrees up north because of that humidity. Let's see here. It's still 30 degrees in New Orleans, LA. Yeah. Yep. Do you guys still have some snow on the ground there? Floridians bring out their Uggs and scarves at 60 degrees. Yeah, I mean, I lived in Florida for 22 years. When it got below 60, we definitely wore jackets and boots. That's for sure. Now I live up near Philly, and when it's in the 60s, I'm in shorts and short sleeve shirt. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're supposed to get up finally above freezing into the 40s like next Monday in Philly, and I'm excited to not have to put a jacket on. Is there a massive storm about to hit Scotland? Well, there was a major storm just moved into Europe. I was going to make a video on it this morning, but it was actively going on, and I like to look ahead. So here was our significant system that already moved through Ireland and through the UK. This one right up here to the north. This brought 120 plus knot winds. Now, let me convert that real quick. I should be able to convert that faster. Okay, it wasn't 120 knots. It was, what was it? Here, let me move back here. Let me go into our wind gusts. Kilometers per hour. Duh. I'm having a brain fart right now, live on stream. There we go. I don't know why I'm saying knots. Knots is what we use in aviation. Okay. So that is... Oh, God. What am I doing? Getting all my measurements wrong. Okay, so it's hurricane force winds. It's not letting me go in here. It's hurricane force winds that they had moving through... moving through here earlier, or earlier today and last night. Now this next system that's going to move through could bring close to, I mean, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds through a lot of through the UK, then yeah, in through Scotland and portions of Europe. You know, their weather out here, it's a lot different than ours. It's a little bit. I understand how the U.S. is geographically located and how our systems work a little bit better, but this is what we would just consider a bomb cyclone slamming into the west coast of the U.S. So you can see here, what's I guess not funny, but what this was, guys, what this was right here, that brought hurricane force winds, snow, rain. It was mostly the wind aspect that was dangerous because it was moving so quickly. It didn't drop too much precipitation. Do you know what this is? This is, guys, that is the same system that dropped a foot of snow into Louisiana, Pensacola. That's our same low pressure system. It just moved across the ocean and slammed into Ireland and the UK. That is the same exact system. But yeah, we got another kind of what we would consider a bomb cyclone moving in after. This is going to be more of an issue with precipitation than winds, though. But yeah, that's the same system. What does the humidity in Florida do to affect cold temps? Why is it different than up north? Just like a humid hot can feel hotter, a humid cold can feel colder. The cold, I'm telling you right now, I grew up in Florida, and 40 degrees in Florida feels like 0 degrees up north. It's so cold because you're surrounded by water. Feels different on your skin. How's New York City looking? New York City is going to stay cold. You could have some clipper systems dropping a tiny bit of light snow. No major accumulation expected in New York City, though, over the next week or two. And then we're expecting a warm-up and some rainfall as we move into early February. So it's gonna start to feel a little bit more like spring. Not really spring-like. We're still going to remain somewhat cold. But as we move into February, I think mid to late February, we're going to start to see kind of that winter-like feel return into New York City. Any more snow in Tallahassee? Probably not. Probably not. It snows in Tallahassee like once a decade or two, so probably not. If you guys got it twice in 1 year, that'd be pretty wild. Is it true you think that North Carolina is going to get more snow? Yeah, but when I said that, I think it's because I think the mountains are going to get more snow. Low elevation snow is going to be tough in North Carolina. But again, I mean, you know, you guys have heard me say it enough. Our biggest winter storms out east have almost always exclusive, like our record-breaking ones have almost always exclusively happened in February and March. But we need the right circumstances. We'd want a big negative AO push, a big polar vortex slowdown in late February into early March to see a big snow and low elevation in the southeast. Which could happen. With the setup we have, it technically could happen, but it's not forecastable right now. What's the tornado season looking like for Northern Illinois? Well, tornado season is looking extremely active. Right now, the tornado season outlook is looking. The outlook's looking like it could be record breaking, but through Dixie Alley. So I would say Southern Indiana probably has to keep their eye on that. Tell me about the weather in Hawaii next week. What's happening with the rain? Well, Hawaii's in a tropical climate, so it can rain any day. The rainfall is almost unforecastable. Just like in Florida during the summer and spring, well, really at any time. We always used to say it's 4 p.m. or it's 3 to 4 p.m. in Florida. Where's our thunderstorm? Happens every single day. But that's how Hawaii is. You guys are tropical. Forecasting your isolated thunderstorms every day is a little bit tough. It rained all yesterday here in Florida. Yeah, you can see that system moving out into the water right now. Las Vegas, Nevada, you guys are going to have a big cool down next week. Middle to late next week with potential snow around you in the mountains there. Any more snow coming to Houston, Texas? I don't think so. Not impossible, though. Record break in general or just Dixie? I think Dixie Alley is going to be our standpoint. I think Dixie Alley's something to watch. But it could just be in general. You know, I shouldn't say record breaking. The outlook makes it look like we could have a significant severe weather spring, above average severe weather in this upcoming spring. Last 2 days, and that happens a lot in Enzo neutrals, which is what we're in right now. Last 2 days, it's been cold and rainy in Southwest Florida. I know. And in South Florida in general. My stepmom lives down there. She said it reminded her of the Northeast. It's like cold and like a misty rain. It's weird. You usually don't get that in Florida. Very weird. You guys had like northeastern weather. Very strange. Snow in Dallas. There's none in your forecast. None in your forecast. Guys, I want to get on and do a sub-only live for a little bit here. We're getting close to 100K. Maybe I can hit it before Monday. But I appreciate anyone who followed or subbed over on YouTube, anyone who gifted, anyone who's just guys, like I always say, you guys being in here in the stream every night. I see more and more recognizable username. I want to say faces, but it's usernames and people in here. So I appreciate you guys coming back here. Zachary, I appreciate that. I'll be for anyone who's new in here, I post every single day. I stream every single night on YouTube and TikTok, unless I'm traveling for work or, I'm out of town basically. So yeah, I'm gonna do a sub only chat. Anyone can hop in my live stream on TikTok. I'm gonna close this down and I'm gonna reopen a live stream on TikTok. Anyone can hop in it, but it's just a sub only chat. I'm gonna do that for like 15-20 minutes. But I will be back on here tomorrow, and I didn't do like a speed round of answering questions today, and I need to do that tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys being in here. Everyone have a great Friday night, and hopefully, or maybe I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't, have a great weekend. I appreciate you guys, and I'll be back on at my sub only chat live and TikTok in like 5 minutes. Peace.